Seeing Guoba just reminded me of something. I actually made this dish on the day I first met Guoba.
How did you first meet?
It was in a cave in the mountains. I ducked inside to get out of the rain and saw an offering table in there, so I put the cornbread buns I'd brought with me on it. Then I ended up falling asleep, and when I woke up, I found out that Guoba had eaten every last one. Guoba followed me around ever since. We're practically family now. Hold up! Stop the conversation! Look! The stone! It burst open!
It's...
Guoba? What are you... What? Mara?
Ah, I see the chili mince cornbread buns have been served. How does it feel, seeing a statue of yourself from your glory days? Ah, look at him. Still so majestic.
Glory days? Wait, what happened? Did Guoba used to be different from now?
Oh, yes. Back in his day, your Guoba was once the patron god of the soil. But all the wisdom and power he had then, he has since surrendered to the soil itself.
A god surrendering their power to the soil. I have heard this turn of phrase before, but what does it mean?
The kinds of trials and tribulations that a land can face are far more than you could imagine. Droughts, floods, torrential rain, hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, fires, and plagues. The threat of disaster will never fully disappear from Liyue. Even woes that have never been faced before in history will come to pass in the future. Such things affect you mortals far more than we Adepti, with our immortal forms. He once walked with you over the barren plains until you arrived at last at the harbor. He joined you in building your dwellings and lighting the stoves. It was his hand that lit the very first street lamp of Liyue and brought the aroma of cooked food into every household in the land. You mortals no longer remember him, but back in the age when you did, he was the closest of all the Adepti to the common folk. Moonchase, god of the stove, born from a spark when stone struck stone. He was a god with a great love for humanity and their well-being. Millennia ago, the people sought to expand their city. They built a dwelling on the plains and called it the Gueli Assembly. The stove god cared greatly for the people, turning himself into minions who went into every home, fostering food and solidarity alike. Alas, their home was taken by a flood. The waters ravaged the Gueli Assembly and forced the people back south to Liyue Harbor. Though the distance was not far, the journey was plagued by a terrible storm. For a dozen days, the Adepti stayed by their side. During this time, the stove god cooked an ancient delicacy, flatbread with a meat sauce to stave off the cold and damp, fit for those on the move. Centuries later, disaster and plague arose once more. The stove god would appear no longer, for he placed all of his power into the land itself to quell the calamities. His power expended, and his wits greatly reduced. Thus his body decreased in size. By the time he parted ways with us, he wasn't even the height of a human. He told Rex Lapis and I of the dishes that bring joy and of the secrets of the flame, then went into the mountains and entered into a long slumber. The stove god departed, and Guoba was born. When he awoke, he ate the chili minced cornbread buns placed on the offering table by a young lady in yellow. Though he did not remember the past, he was profoundly moved and decided to follow this young lady thereafter. The stove god had quietly disappeared, but the vendors rose early to hawk their wares. People went out to buy goods, lit their stoves, and cooked food, just as they had done every day for as long as they could remember. In Liyue, things have always been this way. Nature provides, the mountains rejoice. We are blessed by heaven's good grace.
Years have gone by. The world has transformed, but our way of life survives.
Fame and fortune is only a season. It is the moment that we should embrace.
Past meets present. Heritage becomes legacy. Long into the future may we thrive.
You once told me that dining is the profoundest of customs in the human world. To eat well is to consume vitality itself, and to drink well is to partake of the very essence of the world. It is a matter of paramount importance, you said, for people cannot face the arduous journey ahead on an empty stomach. At once a humble affair and a profound one. A humble meal of maize and spring water is also profound in that. By ensuring one's survival, it paves the way for millennia of human history and culture to come. My dear friend, Liyue has changed so much while you have slept. Looking at the prosperity and beauty around us today, does it make you happy?
Guoba, this is kind of a huge deal. Why didn't you say anything? Happy Lantern Rite.
Happy Lantern Rite. And thank you.
Lady Keqing, the item Lady Ningguang prepared for you has arrived.
Traveler, wait here for a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Huh? Must be something important.
Traveler, Paimon? Ningguang had her personal tailor make it for me. Said it's an imported style. Well, do you like it?
Wow, it's beautiful!
It's time. Traveler, please enjoy the grand finale of this year's Lantern Rite. The fireworks show.
Hey, check you out. Looking pretty fancy.
Only a true treasure catches the eye of Captain Beidou. Seems I've struck gold with this one.
Did you see that? Way over there, a firework that looks just like a pig!
So it does.
Hey everyone, time to eat. Food's ready. No better way to celebrate.
Dr. Baiju, sorry to trouble you again this year.
No trouble at all.
Lantern Rite. Happy Lantern Rite.
Happy Lantern Rite!
The path down the mountain is easier to follow in the daylight. Let's take this chance to head down to the base camp.
Let's go! If we make good time, maybe we can all get lunch together.
I flipped another insignia just outside the camp. Wrong again.
So your bad luck is all used up. We'll be down the mountain in no time.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Today's the day.
Oh no! Avalanche!
Look out!
Traveler, Paimon, are you all right? Are you hurt?
Paimon's fine.
Oh, that's good. My arm got a little scratched up, but it's nothing serious.
I'm okay, but I don't see the other two. I'm afraid the avalanche may have pushed them off the cliff.
They fell down? They'll be okay though, right?
I think they're both robust enough to survive the fall. But if the falling debris knocked them unconscious, and they're lying there in the freezing cold, we have to get down there and rescue them, immediately.
Okay, let's move.
Hang in there, guys.
Traveler, I know what that look means. What's on your mind? Maybe seasoned veterans have an instinct for it. I sense it too. Something seems to have changed, but I can't confirm for sure. It could be difficult to verify. It might be imprudent to speculate out loud, but I believe you know what I am referring to. Traveler, I think... you...
ourselves. This'll be a challenge.
Stay back! I'm going to cut this beat down to size!
Sorry for bringing you back here once again. Some topics are best discussed in private.
Is this about the imposter?
That's right. I have to say, Traveler, I'm very surprised you noticed the difference between me and the imposter. Yes, this mark. Perhaps it's where it all began.
Ooh, sounds like the beginning of a big story. Keep going.
Well, I can't deny that what I'm about to say does sound like something from a children's storybook. So, what do you think this diamond-shaped mark means?
A tattoo? A crest? Something else?
No. Consider it a birthmark. Have you ever seen an intricate glass ornament and wondered how it was made? Well, one method for crafting with glass is a technique known as glass blowing. Glass blowing is not a widely known art in Teyvat. For this reason, glassware made in this way is usually very expensive. As the name implies, glass blowing involves blowing air into a hole, much like blowing up a balloon. This type of glassware is known for having a pontal mark at the point where the blowpipe was inserted, where the hole was sealed at the very end. This mark is a sign that the item was crafted by a human hand.
Sounds kind of amazing.
It is a wondrous and beautiful art form. Alice says that these marks are seen as proof of the maker's fine handiwork, the only flaw in an otherwise perfect work of art. My mark is something similar to this. The difference between synthetic and natural life lies in the directional flow of the life force. The energy of a natural life form flows out from within. That's why flower buds bloom and curled leaves unfold. And it's the very reason we watch and wonder at blossoming flowers. Creating life artificially, on the other hand, involves, to a certain extent, the introduction of an external source of energy into the embryonic life form. When the hole where the life force was infused is sealed at the end, it leaves a mark not dissimilar to the pontal mark in blown glasswares. The alchemical substance drips and spreads out in all directions, resulting in this rather ingenious diamond shape.
Wow, so that's where it came from.
This mark is a sign of my artificial origins, and proof of my imperfection as a human. I presume that the imposter intentionally avoided replicating this mark, so as not to become less than perfect himself. My story. Yes, I should have known. Master's failed specimen in the dragon's belly. This is where the story truly begins. If we switched places, if you were the survivor, then as the abandoned experiment, the failure of the primordial human project, I'd want to replace you too. I would replicate your appearance, study your alchemy, and create miraculous life forms to divert your attention. I would wait for the right moment, then dispose of you in the Traveler, the sole person to have known your secret. And then, I could finally experience the joy of being brought into the world.
The Void Realm is invading. The people of Byakuya believe that there are 3 realms. The Bishop Realm, the Human Realm, and the Void Realm. The darkness spreading in Enkanomiya comes from the Void Abyss. Neither bishops nor humans can endure it.
But don't Bathismal bishops like the dark?
No. They hate the light. But only because down here in the depths, the presence of light signifies human activity. In fact, the Bishop Realm is the realm of pure, primordial, elemental beings. It's actually referred to as the Light Realm in most books. The 7 sovereigns of the Light Realm are the 7 foremost elemental dragons at the pinnacle of the raw and primitive elemental forces.
So that's why Tsuyuko called this the 3 Realms Gateway Offering.
According to what I have read, the fundamental purpose of the Watatsumi Goryo Matsuri is to use the Serpent God's life force to awaken its second familiars, the Senga Coralia. They are creatures that break down raw, primitive elemental energy into the milder elemental energy of the human realm. The giant coral is a symbol that the Senga Coralia have been awakened by the serpent's blood. The mass awakening of the Senga Coralia causes a transformation in the ecological environment of Enkanomiya.
Makes sense. Even if you took away the darkness and the monsters, Enkanomiya would still look pretty different now with all the new plants and ore around.
Things are even more complicated than usual this time. The darkness from the Void Realm seems to be suppressing things in the Light Realm and the Human Realm, causing them to come to a standstill.
Oh, hey! I would say this is a nice surprise, but it's really not that surprising. Look at you, venturing out into the darkness, doggedly fighting your way through just to come and see me. You're the only person I can think of who could actually pull that off. Still, what's with you joining forces with them? Didn't expect that.
You're just trying to stall for time with small talk again.
Huh. I guess maybe you're not so clued up after all. The Bishop people.
Bishop people? Huh. Sounds like the kind of nickname Paimon comes up with all the time.
Well, this one comes from an old Enkanomiyan legend. When the Bathismal bishops were defeated, they began evolving to survive. That is to say, they imitated the victors. Eventually, this gave rise to a line of bishops who were indistinguishable from humans except for their pupils. These were the Bishop people. The story goes that they gradually infiltrated Enkanomiya and took over many high-ranking positions. Remind you of anyone? I formed an alliance with the bishops. I said I'd plunge all of Enkanomiya into darkness so they could send their elites into the Dainichi Mikoshi and rescue their captive kin. In return, they'd allow the Abyss Order safe passage through their territory and help me rebuild the 3 towers. But they didn't know that the darkness of the Abyss was a terrible poison to elemental beings.
So, they thought you had betrayed them?
I mean, I totally did betray them. To be fair, it'd be pretty humiliating for the Abyss Order if we unleashed the power of the Abyss on them and they were just frolicking around with no side effects.
You are pure evil!
Well, here's where we are now. Once she's done with you, she'll use the power of the Dainichi Mikoshi to suppress the Senga Coralia and create darkness to protect the bishops. They are probably diving down into the depths to rescue their imprisoned companions as we speak. It won't be long before the source of Blood Branch Coral is completely cut off.
Poor Bathismal bishops. But still.
If you still want to save Watatsumi Island, you're gonna have to hurry. You can use the mechanism I left behind to guide the light and dispel the darkness in the Dainichi Mikoshi.
We don't believe a single word that comes out of your mouth!
Oh, come on, guys. Do you honestly have another choice? This is just another fruitless trip to Enkanomiya for me at this point. But no biggie. I'm just a marginal figure in the order. Unlike those who are falling over themselves to serve our highness, I'm interested in more inconsequential things. Ooh, yikes. I think I'm all out of time here. I'd better go. I would say, see ya, but I probably won't. Here, I've got a parting gift for you. It's something I picked up at the Dainichi Mikoshi.
This looks like part of the same set as the one that Kokomi gave us. Wait, now's not the time for that. Oh, Paimon's so angry, he got away again. You can't trust that guy, even if he sounds like he's making sense. So, let's go back to Tsumi and ask her about all this. Shocked. It actually worked! For once, he didn't lie to us. Well, maybe with his sneaky way of explaining things, he doesn't have to. Why does Paimon feel like you two have reached some sort of mutual understanding? That is not okay!
It's...
It's a pendant in the shape of... Are those 3 entwined snakes?
This pendant has been with me for as long as I can remember. Why does it fit with your 2 pieces? Don't be ridiculous. Are you trying to say that I...
Paimon doesn't understand. This one is Kokomi's, this one is from the Dainichi Mikoshi, and Sumi's has been with her all along.
I grew up with the Bishops. My only possessions were this pendant and a few boxes of books. I learned human language and writing from them, but not long after that, Enkanomiya was left without a single human being. It became completely empty. Only recently did I finally have the chance to make contact with humans and learn what the things I'd read in the books really meant.
Sumi?
There's a saying in your human books that I never understood until right now. People belong where they are born, but creatures belong where they are fed. I am a bishop, not a human. So I'm going back to where I belong. I guess the Dainichi Mikoshi isn't my concern. But we'll be back one day.
That's not true. Vassals of Watatsumi typically take on a half-human, half-snake form, symbolizing that they are the familiars of our serpent god. At least, they used to. Over time, the vassals gradually became identical to humans, all except for the pupils of their eyes. But Bishop people and reptilians, they're pure fiction. There is no evidence for their existence anywhere among Sangonomiya's classified documents. Oh, so Sumi isn't actually a bishop? The Watatsumi Omikami exhausted its power to create Watatsumi Island. And after that, it grew weaker and weaker. No more vassals of Watatsumi were born after that. But the records do mention the very last of the vassals. All our hopes were placed onto her. She was going to be the one who could communicate between the bishops and the humans. But when she was just an infant girl, she and her guardian shrine maiden were attacked by bishops at the border of Enkanomiya. Her whereabouts have been unknown ever since. Most believe she died that day, but some believe she was raised by the bishops. The people of Watatsumi owe a great debt of gratitude to the vassals of Watatsumi. Now that the bishops and Watatsumi Islanders no longer have a territorial dispute, I sincerely hope that she will find her way to where she belongs. Wherever that is for her.
It's me, Arataki Itto, descendant of the Crimson Oni.
I know who you are. From the day we are born, every Blue Oni knows their purpose. We all know our fate is one of self-sacrifice. But what about the Crimson Oni, You don't know anything about us. Not our miserable history, or any of our names. Mine's Takuya, by the way. But you don't even care, do you? Because those who get sacrificed should be forgotten, right?
No, you're wrong. I never knew the Blue Oni had survived to this day, and the moment I found out, I was determined that I would find you. Since you remember the pact between our two factions, I assume you also remember the pride we share as Oni. So my question is, how could a proud Oni like yourself go and abuse the weak and plunder the innocent? Why break the oath that our kind swore all those years ago? Huh? What's so funny?
Who are you to talk about pride and oaths with me? The Blue Oni gave up everything, just so the Crimson Oni could live peacefully in human society. But let me ask you, Arataki Itto, what exactly do you contribute to human society? You're a blundering fool who can't hold down a real job, a laughingstock of the town, and worse still, you let them get your vision during the Vision Hunt decree. Protecting the Oni pride? Huh! You wouldn't know how if you tried. You're a disgrace to the Oni kind.
Hey, come on. None of that stuff's a big deal. I mean, you're really hanging me out to dry here, man.
Since when do you care what other people think? You just do whatever you want. It's not like anyone can stop you. But do you have any idea of the kind of life my kin and I have lived while you've been hanging around in human society? We were cut off from the rest of the world. We severed all contact with it. And since then, we've had no place to live, no stable source of food, no clothing, no medicine, nothing. Besides the oath we swore to uphold in our so-called Oni pride, we had nothing.
So, that's why you joined a band of thieves?
That's right. Why should I accept that life? Is holding fast to a worthless oath supposed to help me provide for my family and friends? I've abandoned our Oni pride. It's meaningless. I want to live. I've given everything that I've stolen from humans to my community. What I've taken will at least keep them from starving and ease their pain. That's what matters most to me.
Yeah, and besides, the Blue Oni sacrificed themselves so that Oni could be accepted as part of human society. If people see Oni causing trouble again, then that'll defeat the whole purpose of the sacrifice you made.
You make a good point. But Arataki Itto's the one who needs to get that into his thick skull. The Blue Oni are the bad guys, so we're expected to do bad things. Our actions won't tarnish the reputation of the Crimson Oni. Unless, of course, this bonehead decides it'd be a great idea to take all the blame for himself, completely destroying the trust between humans and the Crimson Oni in the process. He's the one that wasted the sacrifice we made.
Huh? Well, I only had to do that because of you! I couldn't just stand back and let the Tenryo Commission drag you away.
You should get your priorities straight. The Blue Oni are history, all right? Forget about us. The Crimson Oni are the ones who must live on. Why couldn't you have just stayed out of this?
I'll let you in on a little secret. A long time ago, I picked up this rare paper charm. It's very precious to me. What makes it so special is that if you tear one piece, the other piece starts tearing too.
Newsflash, don't care about your cute little origami obsession.
You'd better stay where you are and let me finish. Aren't you curious what the other piece is used for? I'll tell you. It's now the critical component of the mechanism, and when it gets torn, this place goes up in smoke. Yeah, the whole hideout is rigged with explosives and ready to blow.
What? You're gonna blow this whole place up?
Oh, don't worry about me. I made sure that I've got an escape route. The rest of you, though, you're gonna be buried deep among the rubble. You've had your fun. Now it's goodbye. My paper charm! Where's my paper charm?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you looking for this?
Yes, that's it. But when did you...
I snatched it earlier, to stop you from doing anything hasty.
Why, you... And now you're going to betray me?
You're one to talk. What about burying everyone here? If you ask me, that sounds like you've already betrayed our agreement, no?
Just give it here!
You done talking now? Huh? You sure? Great, because I'm done listening! Yeah! Great work, Takuya. You arrived in the nick of time.
Stay away from me!
Huh?
I said stay away, or I'll tear the paper charm!
Hey, oh, okay. Fine. Just calm down. What are you doing?
Just because I won't let him blow this place to bits doesn't mean that I won't do it myself. Unless you want to get buried, you should leave this place now. Take everyone here and get out!
You won't go through with it. If you were that cruel, then why bother protecting every person you've come across? Huh?
I'm not here to reason with you. Go! Just get out of here! This sacrifice is mine to make. Mine alone! Why couldn't you just stay out of it?
No one needs to sacrifice themselves.
All right, then you tell me. What am I supposed to do? I've tarnished our Oni pride and abandoned our ancestors' oath. Only sacrifice can restore my pride now. I chose this path so I could provide for my fellow Oni. I was ready to die from the very beginning. This is between us Blue Oni. But you... If it wasn't for you, everything would have worked out perfectly!
They're here! We won't let them slip away this time!
Uh-oh! There's nowhere else to run!
Hey, Tenryo Commission! I'm the one you're looking for. I did it. I'm behind everything. Arataki Itto is innocent. You're the ones in charge of detaining criminals in human society, right? I'm sure you can tell who the criminal is here.
Huh? It's like he's trying to reenact the fairy tale, sacrificing himself for the Crimson Oni!
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's me you've been looking for, and here I am! How are you ever gonna report back without capturing me?
Stop fooling around, Itto!
Listen, Takuya, sacrificing yourself won't solve anything. Your sacrifice can't protect me or your fellow Oni, and giving up your life isn't gonna make theirs any longer. Sacrificing yourself is one way to escape your fate, but the only one you'll be setting free is yourself. Listen to me. You want to be the tough guy? Huh? Well, this is the coward's way out. Don't let your sacrifice stain our Oni pride. The Blue Oni have been scraping the bottom of the barrel all these years, so let's give them a new beginning. We've made mistakes, but we can make up for them. Fate hasn't been kind to the Oni? Well then let's tear it up and start over. But before any of that can happen, you need to get yourself behind me and forget about all that self-sacrifice stuff. Now let's go. But we're not done talking about this. Takuya! I'll take care of this. There are still people in danger. Go, help them!
What?
Hey, I got this.
Come on!
Forget about me! Just go! It's what I deserve!
Ah, shut up, would ya? That's gonna hurt tomorrow. What's up with the looks on your faces? I said we'd be okay, didn't I? I'm sure I'd be looking a whole lot sharper right now if it wasn't for that brutal bean attack of yours earlier.
Why? Why would you do this for me? I'm the guilty one here. I don't deserve this.
Because we're Oni, that's why. We share the same blood, brother. Our parents and their parents before them never taught us that it was okay to abandon family in need. I just wish you'd come to find me sooner. If you knew about me all along, then you should have come and asked me for help. I never would have dreamed of turning you away.
The Blue Oni disappeared so that they wouldn't bring trouble to the Crimson Oni. If I came to you for help, wouldn't that just undo everything the Blue Oni have done?
Not to me. I've always respected the Blue Oni for their sacrifice. Nothing they did was in vain. It's only because of them that we have survived to see today, and built a world where Oni and humans can live side by side.
But...
don't worry. The Arataki gang's already a bunch of misfits. You really think you could cramp our style? Don't worry. I'll help take care of your kin. Now that I know the situation, I'll personally make sure they never suffer again.
Might want to put your grand plans on hold there. You're under arrest too, for numerous assaults on the Tenryo Commission officers.
Oh, yeah, I guess I forgot about that. But no worries, I'll put my gang on the case. My boys will take good care of the Blue Oni.
Yeah, we've already arrested them too.
Oh, right, yeah,
That's what they get for resisting the Tenryo Commission.
Yeah, I guess it's up to you then, Traveler. Could you be a pal and tell Granny Oni about the Blue... Thanks. And thanks for sticking with me to the end. Once I'm out of the slammer, I'll find a way to make it all up to ya.
As for you two, lending them your aid when you knew full well they were in the wrong means that the culpability extends to you too. But, given your unique circumstances, and in light of the complexity of this case, we won't press charges this time.
Sorry for the trouble.
Hey, wait! Are unique circumstances? Are these guys like a big deal or something? Oh, yeah, okay. Cool. Because I was gonna say, you know, like, I'm kind of a big deal myself, you know? Yeah, all right, see you next time. Whenever that'll be.
A long, long time ago, in a village lost to time, there lived a Crimson Oni and a Blue Oni. They were the best of friends. The Crimson Oni wanted to be friends with the humans, so the Blue Oni played the role of the naughty kid. And then he left. After a long time, the Crimson Oni was living happily with the humans, but in his heart, he wanted to bring the Blue Oni back home. The Crimson Oni didn't know where to find the Blue Oni. His search took him up the highest mountains and across the widest rivers. He found many traces of the Blue Oni, but the more he found, the clearer it became. The Blue Oni was hiding on purpose. So just as the Blue Oni had once done, the Crimson Oni left him a letter.
Dear Owl, I've made lots of human friends now, and I want to have a big party for everyone. I want all my friends to be there. That means you too, Owl. If you don't want to meet me, you can just watch from a distance.
The Blue Oni snuck back to the village and hid in the shadows. He saw the great feast and roaring fire and longed to join in. But though his stomach rumbled, the Blue Oni remembered the oath of old and kept his distance. Suddenly, he jumped. The Crimson Oni was right behind him.
Hey, you're finally back. Come on, I'll introduce you. It's time everyone met my best friend.
When I first set foot in the Jade Chamber, I stood at the edge of the platform and looked down upon Liyue Harbor far below. At that time, I dreamed that one day the Jade Chamber's shadow would be seen in all 7 nations of Teyvat. My wish has not changed to this very day. However, it is not only out of consideration for myself that I have built the Jade Chamber anew at this time. I hope the Jade Chamber will always float in the skies above Liyue Harbor, bearing witness to the prosperity and peace of the human world. And I hope that you can all witness it with me. Let the Ascension ceremony commence! Right on cue. The Avenger of the Vortex, Beisht.
Who is that?
Osial's wife. Final follower of the Overlord of the Vortex.
Sounds like you knew this was coming!
Beidou sensed something was stirring in the deep. She warned me months ago. Knowing she harbors hatred toward the Jade Chamber, I chose to rebuild it now as a way of drawing her out.
Got it! Well, let's go fetch the Adepta!
No.
Huh?
In this human age, the people of Liyue must find a way to overcome this crisis on our strength alone!
You are a cursed child. Your life brings nothing but disaster to us all. At least if you die, I can bring her back.
The day you learn how to use your strength for the good of others is the day that you can truly become part of human society.
披冠到这里本该接近尾声，但今日我再添一笔，唱与诸位听。彼时鹤归，茫茫天地无依靠，孤身离去。今日再会，新朋旧友坐满堂，共聚此时。
What did you think? Personally, I thought I sang rather well.
It was beautiful. Paimon wants to learn too.
It was wonderful. Also, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks to you, the divine Damsel of Devastation is a more nuanced tale than ever. The play has an ending, but life goes on. I believe you will find a way to fit in Liyue Harbor.
Thank you. I think I found the opportunity I needed to change.
This is the end. You have won. I believed you were incapable of transcending the past. But it seems my belief was baseless, and I underestimated your spirit. But a will that cannot be eroded has no way to embrace the future. You need not worry about the future. And you aren't alone. I know your power more than anyone else. Had I relied upon my strength alone, I would have lost this duel for sure. Yet, my reason for fighting redefined my martial prowess and redrew my limits. I now carry the gaze of the myriad of expectant eyes that look to the light in the heavens. And whenever I think of this, I feel something stirring within Musou Ishin. The blade that I inherited from Makoto seems to be trying to guide me, to encourage me. I noticed it also. Just now in the heat of battle, it seemed to unleash a new and unfamiliar power. This power is beyond the limits of my understanding. This blade belonged to Makoto. Perhaps it can only respond to me with its full power when I truly understand and believe in her. When I clasped Musou Ishin in my hands, I had the feeling that she was by my side once again. It was at once a familiar feeling and a strange one. Makoto barely wielded a blade in her life, and yet, her blade brings me closer to her. You have my approval. Your present will is not the product of erosion. I shall no longer stop you from attempting to modify the rules. From this day forth, this body will remain your assistant. I won't design any more rules that can never be changed. You used to represent my past, but from today onward, you are me. Makoto never saw me as a fearless weapon. Likewise, I should not regard you as a mere tool. You truly have changed. I suppose this is what humans call growth. I understand. I shall become your shadow, just as you were once Makoto's shadow. The duties I perform will not change. But as a warrior, I look forward to the chance to fight like this again in the future. Do you say this because you have not yet reconciled yourself with your defeat? It was simply a new experience for me. One that is worth reliving.
Have you finished fighting then? Like, for real this time?
Hello, A.
And greetings, those who have come to bear witness. I am Raiden Makoto, the previous Electro Archon, who failed in my duties and left you all to pick up the pieces. Makoto? I'm so happy. You've come so far. I always knew you would make it here in the end. I left a faint fragment of my will in Muso Ishin, so that in the moment that you unleashed its full power, I too would be released. A convoluted way to reach you, but... well, you held such deeply entrenched views at the time that you wouldn't have listened to a word I said. There was no time to wait for you to have a change of heart. Please forgive me. All I could do was find some way to wait until you came to me. But... you never mentioned this to me. Everything happened so suddenly. I'm sorry. I've always felt terrible for having to entrust Inazuma to you all of a sudden. I should have been the one to impart these ideas to you, a little at a time, to dissuade you from your pursuit of stillness. Did you know what was about to happen in Conria? I had some sense of it. That place was not somewhere that any Archon could afford to ignore. In my present form, I can no longer perceive time. I don't know how long we have been separated before this reunion, and I don't know what Inazuma has experienced in the meantime. But I know that this must have been an extremely arduous journey for you. And I'm sure you must have wanted to shed tears many times along the way. Don't look down on me. See? You admit it. It was with this possibility in mind that I left a parting gift for you. Something to soothe Inazuma's pain. Here, take it. Before my last shred of consciousness fades away. But it is you who must take the most important step.
The light turned into a seed?
The miracle tree that blesses the people, in this moment new to the world and yet to be known. When to plant it, where it shall bloom. She who brings it into being must let her heart and dreams decide. Grant it life, eh? Is it really? Eternity extends time into infinity. Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred Sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future, nor can I walk this journey with you. Do you know, I am so happy right now, because my final wish has now come true. Your polearm once protected me from countless calamities. For this, I've always felt indebted to you. Though I could never repay you in full, this sacred Sakura will buy you some time until you are ready to awaken and embrace the new. What do you think? Did it do the trick? This time, it really is goodbye, eh? Goodbye, Makoto.
What? Paimon knew it! You had an evil plan all along!
Oh, did you now? Then how naive of you to let me possess this body so easily. I sense, yes, great power within her. Good. Good! With this power, no one shall be able to stand in my way.
Wake up! Quick! Wake up! We gotta stop him!
It is futile. You shall never wake her again. This body now belongs to me!
Hey! Come on, wake up! Don't let him take your mind! Miko, think of something! Miko! You're laughing?
Oh, Rakusai, you haven't changed a bit. You caught on so quickly. Too perfect.
Well, you made the face enough times that I couldn't exactly miss the hint. This is what you were going for, yes? Never one to stand on the sidelines of a good spectacle, are you? Always got to dive in and fan the flames, huh? You mischievous little kitsune, you. Look what you've done to this little flying one here. Oh, poor thing scared witless.
You were having plenty of fun playing the bad guy a moment ago. Now you're trying to blame it all on me?
Rakusai? Miko, you guys know each other?
Yes, we do. Of course we do.
Allow me to formally introduce the author of A First-Hand Guide to Summoning Spirits, Urakusai. No, wait. To be more accurate, it's Urakusai's memory.
Memory? But isn't he a spirit?
Ah, spirits, memories. They're just different words to describe the same thing. Something that comes from the ley lines.
Do you remember that recent incident when the Rift Hounds were gnawing at the sacred Sakura's roots? You witnessed human memories leaking from the ley lines, didn't you? Well, since there are human memories, of course there are going to be yokai memories too. In life, yokai possess supernatural powers, and even when they are a shadow of their former selves from a bygone era, they still have the ability to control whether they are visible or not. Typically, yokai memories survive longer in the world than those of humans.
Indeed, indeed. I was wandering around the sacred Sakura's roots when I suddenly heard someone yelling, "Please, someone, anyone, help me write a truly amazing novel." It piqued my curiosity, so I popped inside his body and wrote a novel for him.
So that's how it happened. But why did you include a summoning incantation in the novel?
Oh, little one. Not to toot my own horn here, but when I was alive, I wasn't just another kitsune, no. I was a mighty and powerful Daiyuko. The memories of other yokai can't possess human bodies at will like I can. But with this incantation, they can go one last little joyride in the world for a couple of days. Anything they're still itching to do, they can go and get it done.
But...
She's trying to say that all the commotion this causes is likely to be a great disturbance to the humans.
Disturbance? I guess you mean that we might leave them with some broken dreams after we leave, hmm? Oh, yes. And they might have a fever or whatever. But you know, I actually think that the most admirable thing about human beings is the way that they go out and shape their fate with their own two hands, given that they're not born blessed with the same powers that we enjoy. As for those who would rather draw on external power than seek to improve themselves, it's quite right that they learn their lesson eventually. So when you think about it, we're actually doing the humans a big favor. Miko, you agree, don't you?
Yes, that's what I thought too.
All right then. You finally convinced Paimon. You guys were right.
What are you scared of, little one? Don't be deceived by her day-to-day antics. Miko is actually one of the most powerful yokai out there.
Not only that, Urakusai, but my latest work has beaten that book you wrote, A First-Hand Guide to Summoning Spirits, to become the most popular in Inazuma.
Of course. You were never one to make extra work for yourself where you can help it. And yet you went to all these lengths to find my painting room, and even took the trouble to summon me. I knew you must have some ulterior motive. You were always the one to pick a quarrel with me when we all used to gather around and share stories. All right. You win, I lose. Happy now?
Ha!
I finally get to hear you say it centuries later. Ooh, I must say it feels good.
I remember when you were just a little girl, always hanging off my shoulders. A few hundred years later, and you're all grown up.
Oh, Urakusai, how much time do you have left?
Not much. That goes for all of us, actually. We've all got to go back where we came from in the end. Everyone's quite content in many ways, but they still can't help but ask, are we ever going to have another Hyakyako?
Don't you worry about that, Urakusai. Arrangements are being made. When my bell rings, it means the moonless night is upon us.
Great. Wonderful. Fantastic. Miko, it's been nice catching up, but I'd better conserve my energy if I want to stick it out until then. So, I'll be on my way now.
All right. Goodbye then, Urakusai.
One last thing, Miko. I just want to know, have you been well all these years?
I've been great, of course. Every day is a happy one, especially these days. Not only do I have my light novels, but I've also met these two delightfully nosy outlanders. And even A is finally starting to come to her senses. Quite a miracle, given how pig-headed she can be.
Oh, well, great. That's fantastic.
Urakusai, you'd be right at home in this era. A great storyteller and artist like yourself would be the Yae Publishing House's ace in the hole. And I would personally be hounding you over your next installment.
He disappeared. Are you awake? How are you feeling?
Are you all there? Here, like last time, repeat after me. Oh, you beat me to it. Looks like your brain is intact. So, your first possession, What was it like? Good. Saves me from having to explain everything again. Hearing Urakusai admit defeat has put me in the most wonderful mood. In return, it's only fair that we make sure to deliver on what they're all hoping for. Yes, though they only represent a tiny proportion of the memories in the ley lines, it will still be quite a sight to behold when the time comes.
Wow, so many! They're everywhere! Huh?
Yes, the memories of the yokai. They haven't been able to relax and soar through the air like this for a long time. Come with me. You all right, little one? You look a little nervous.
It's just, Paimon's never seen anything like this before! Whoa, they've really blocked out the moon!
It does look a little intimidating, doesn't it? But I know them. They may be loud and brash at times, but they are good and brave souls. Even after losing their lives in a brutal war, they have never given in to grief or despair. Alas, their time is short. It's a feast, and all feasts come to an end. Since you're sorry to see them leave, why don't you do the recital along with me? O Hakushin, cause of this enchantment, in reverence I perform this rite.
In reverence I perform this rite. To be a guiding light.
The book says, recite the secret spells of Lady Kitsune tonight, and our wishes will come true.
O Hakushin, cause of this enchantment.
I perform this rite to be a guiding light.
Your unrivaled power will be honored eternally.
Murakusai, you asked if I was doing well. Really, every day is a happy day for me. But watching you all leave now, I can't help but feel a little lonely. Just a little, of course.